It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Bitcoin is breaking out. Not boring anymore, is it? This is the breakout, ladies and gentlemen. This is the moment that we've been waiting for. This is the move that we've been trying to catch. We've got it. We're holding on to it. We are long spot. We are long futures. We are long and strong. And this thing ain't stopping till at least 125,000. And we're going to go into that in today's video. Hit the like button if you guys haven't already done so. Subscribe if you haven't already. We talk about Bitcoin. We talk about the crypto market. We talk about altcoins when it is altcoin season. We're going to talk about altcoin season as well. We're not quite there, but showing really good signs, positive signs towards the altcoins. So we will dive into that as well. And yeah, without any further ado, let's just jump in to the king of all crypto. That is Bitcoin. Just checking in on our position here. You know, don't trust, verify. We took a position down here at 108.022. We also told you guys to take that position down here. Where was it? Yeah, we made the entry call here in this is the free Discord, by the way. If you guys aren't in, most of the people watching this are in. Props to you guys. Props if you took this this trade setup, and then half an hour before it started going ballistic, we were like, it's going, it's breaking out. This is the move. I wasn't even, I was at the pool, so I had to do a shitty little phone share. But at 109.740, this thing was 30 minutes away from exploding to 111, taking out the all-time high. So things are looking really good. If you guys aren't already in the Discord, it's super easy. Just go to blackbox.pro, BLKBöX.pro. Click the join trading community tab right at the top. Fill out a couple questions, email, name, why you want to join, and boom, click submit and you will be in there. But anyways, let's talk about the position here. You know, we took that position. We're at cheeky little profit here, 30.79% at the time of recording this video. I anticipate that many people watching this will see this at a higher price. But yeah, regardless, we're looking good. We're looking good. Let's go to the trading view chart. Just super clean breakout. We were in this wedge formation here. Sorry, let me just get onto the chat here. We were on, sorry, just OBS stuff, broadcast software stuff. We were in this long-term, really volatile range bull flag, and then we got into this little bull flag here. If we take a look at the hourly, this little flag formation off of the lows, off of the abysmal lows, where everybody said that the top is in and the bull market is over, and we saw this consolidation happening above the top of the flag. We saw a bullish formation. We called it, and boom. Beautiful rally out of that level. Blue sky breakout, the highest price that Bitcoin has ever been. Nothing stops this train, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing stops this train. This is going to continue on to higher levels. Something's going on with my chat. My chat is not working, which is unfortunate. I definitely want to talk to you guys. So just if you, I think there's a delay on my chat here, or not a delay, but it auto refreshed and I lost all of the messages. Just write your message again so that I can see it, because something's happened with my chat and it's gone. But anyways, where are we heading from here? Where are we headed from here? This is a clean breakout. This is what we've been waiting for. This is happening on overall in the market. Volume, I've been looking at volume, and I'm looking at on-chain volume, I'm looking at exchange volume, I'm looking at sentiment, I'm looking at how bored people are, and I'm looking at volume of the YouTube channel and other metrics, as many metrics as I can, to determine what's going on with the trading activity in the market. And we have been at bear market levels. We have been at bear market levels of volume. Okay. Now, why that's so bullish is we've been at bear market lows of volume at all-time highs. we have been flirting with these all-time highs. We've been up at this plus 100K zone for months and months while nobody is trading. That just shows you so much intrinsic demand for the underlying asset Bitcoin that, retail doesn't even need to be here at all. And we're going to rest at high levels during bear market lows of volume and even break out to the upside on that. So, man, I'm telling you, this cycle is going to be massive. This is going to be a massive cycle. We have no volume whatsoever right now. If we just get a teeny bit of interest, a tiny little bit of interest from retail, hitting smash buy, hitting those market orders on the exchanges, there's no holding this thing back. There is no holding this thing back. We are going to, head to some beautiful, beautiful levels. I've pulled a trend-based Fibonacci extension here for you folks, and this is quite realistic and quite in line with what we have already been talking about as far as extension targets. There's a couple different ways that you can get to extension targets. A common, popular way is to do kind of the flagpole method. That pulls us up to a position of around 136 if you pull from the bottom of the flag, or if you go from the area of the breakout, 145. Just a couple ways to look at it. But the trend-based fib extensions are also really good because they give you a tiered expectation, and the higher you go on that tier, the more demand there is for the underlying asset. So if you guys remember a few shows ago, I was talking about how you can use Fibonacci retracements to determine demand based on how shallow the pullback is. When you are above the 0.5 fib retracement, that's considered a shallow pullback. A shallow pullback is indicating that the market is bullish and that the order book has more bids than asks. And if it goes below the 50% retracement, that is a deep pullback. And deep pullbacks are good value zones, but it also tells you that there's not a lot of demand and that the bulls are not necessarily in control. The same thing can be said with the extensions. So wherever we land, as far as an extension here, it's going to tell you how much demand there is in the market, how healthy and how extended we can expect a bull market rally to go. So, for example, if we make it to the 0786 here on the extension, that's good, great. Bitcoin's at $130,000. Nobody's going to be upset about that, but that is going to indicate that we're not super strong. We're not in that retail FOMO phase of the market. If we get to the 100% extension, that's 135,854 here on this fib extension. That's positive. That's showing that we're definitely healthy, but there's also a healthy amount of selling taking place. If on this impulse, which I think will last anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, if this impulse brings us into the 1.272 or the 1.618 at 146 or 159 respectively, that's going to indicate that there are not a lot of sellers. And given the fact that we have seen so much Bitcoin come off of exchange, given the fact that we are breaking on all-time highs with bear market volume, I'm going to go ahead and assume that the demand is way higher than the available supply. The available sellers in the market are just becoming non-existent, and that is a perfect storm recipe for massive price extension. So by September, I'm calling Bitcoin will be at least $150,000 by September. So that's my prediction as it stands right now. Let's catch up with the chat here. Wow, I made a live stream. Welcome in, Alan. Good to see you in the chat. DaVinci21, what's your BTC prediction for the end of the month? End of the month is a little bit tricky. It's easier for me to go a little bit further. So I'm thinking we're going to hit one of those fibs, one of these fib extensions by September. So I'm giving myself basically a month and a half. End of this month, I think it's going to be a strong month. Let's actually just pull up the monthly. But here's the thing, like, we're blue sky breakout right now. We're blue sky breakout. So, we could just spend the rest of the month just here at 113. Not what you want to hear, but, we could just spend the rest of the month here. Likely we could get up to, let's say, 120, something like that. But honestly, that's just a bullshit guess. That's just me pulling a number out of my ass, really. I give these trends a little bit more time to appreciate and value. And I think that by September, we'll be looking at one of these fibs. And that's a much better answer to give you than to say, what do I think the price is going to be at the end of the month? Nobody knows. But if you go far enough out, we can start to hit some of these macro extension targets. Liquidated shorts in the chat. You were spot on, Blue. Legendary Alpha here. Thank you, sir. We do our best. There was some comments in regards to Da Vinci 21 also says start moving into alts now. No, I feel like a broken record here. We need a down trend, not a down bar, a down trend. With Bitcoin dominance, we are still in an uptrend. Right? What is an uptrend? Higher highs and higher lows. I actually think that if you struggle with trend, I actually believe that there is a trend indicator. I don't struggle to see trend, but some people do struggle to see trend, and I'm just going to try and find it. Trend line with breaks, trend line V2. Let's try trend line with breaks. Let's see what that looks like. No. Let's try and find this trend indicator. Auto trend lines. Oh, that's ugly. That's not what we want. I'll give it one more shot and then I'll give up, and I'll have to let you guys know what it is in the Discord. If you aren't in the Discord, get into the Discord. If you think this channel is free alpha, you're going to love the Discord. It's free, by the way. Did I mention it's free? And no strings attached, free, just actually free. Okay, trend. BB trend, no. Trend direction? That's not the one that I remember. Anyways, let's just do it the old school way. So here's the trend, right? We have a high, a low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. What do we assume happens next? Even though we are bullish, even though this could absolutely be the beginning of an altcoin trend, we are following the trend until it ends, which means we assume there will be a higher low. We can only assume there will be a higher low. We're going to dive into the alts individually because they are showing really good outperformance, and we're seeing price action contrary to what I was expecting in prior videos with that big move up in Bitcoin correlating with a big move down in Bitcoin pairs. We're not seeing that. But don't front run an alt. If you care about making money, if you care about your portfolio, if you care to maximize this once every 4 or 5 year opportunity to its fullest potential, don't front run an altcoin. I cannot stress this enough. Everybody that was in alts for the last 2 years is fucking wrecked, and they're likely gone. They've left because they have no reason to be here. Trust me, please. Don't front run an altcoin. Wait until the trend is favorable. You're more than happy to be in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is killing it. Bitcoin is killing it. If you're an altcoin trader, you're down bad. Like statistically speaking, you're like 70 to 90% down on your portfolio if you were fully exposed to alts. Whereas with Bitcoin, you're over 600% up. You're over 600% up in Bitcoin. So yes, Bitcoin moves slower. Yes, Bitcoin doesn't have these massive 30% in a day moves. I get it, okay? I understand the temptation of an altcoin. But if the trend is working against you, don't become a participant. As soon as the wind is behind your back and we are clear sailing in front of us, you go in hard. But no, we're still in an uptrend. Aloha Kahuna, welcome to the chat. We're getting some cool people in the chat here that we don't often see. Unusual time because I'm usually doing it in the morning or at night, but this was a big move. We definitely wanted to cover this move, so we are live covering said move. From a TA point of view, I mean, there's nothing for me to share. You guys are just here along for the ride, having a good time, enjoying the gains. There's no entries to be made here unless you're spot. I mean, if you're spot Bitcoin and you're sidelined, yeah, get in. Financial advice. Not actually, but you know, we're at an all-time high break. A lot of people, I saw this one influencer the other day, I can't remember what his name was, but he was just like, oh, you never buy an all-time high break. That is so wrong. In my opinion, you buy every all-time high break. If we have a break on volume at an all-time high, that's as good a buy signal as any. All right, back to altcoins. What I find interesting is ETH's ability right now. ETH is doing good. ETH is doing really good. So what I was expecting a breakout on Bitcoin. We talked about it. We covered it. We went long on it. What I was expecting for ETH in the face of that was I was expecting ETH BTC, which I don't look at ETH USD, I look at ETH BTC. I was expecting that to go down, but it's not. So contrary to, you know, me not wanting to take a position in alts because we haven't created a downtrend yet, ETH is holding its own. This is still a resilient chart, and it's resilient in the face of Bitcoin doing quite well. So Ethereum, I mean, let's just look at the Ethereum. I don't usually look at the Ethereum USD chart, but it must be doing incredible. I mean, this is a really good move here. On the day, let's go to the daily candle. So this daily candle, yesterday's candle is at 5.86%. How is that outperforming Bitcoin right now? If we go to Bitcoin's daily candle, Bitcoin's daily candle is, so 1.97%. And if we go back to ETH on the daily candle, that's 1.95. Okay. Yeah. It just looks different structurally. It looks different. So yeah, ETH is looking really good. ETH is looking really good. Now, I'm not going to jump into ETH. We don't have the buy signal that I'm waiting for on ETH, but it's showing me that the market is definitely bullish on alts, so much so that they're starting to work together. It's no longer a sympathy pump. So there's kind of like 3 stages to altcoin season. Stage 1 is Bitcoin pumps, altcoins follow, right? So I call that a sympathy pump, right? Bitcoin pumps, altcoins follow. That's like stage 1 of altcoin season. And that's not the stage that you want to be in. That's really not altcoin season. That's just stage 1 of the alt inside of the Bitcoin bull market. Stage 2 is Bitcoin pumps, altcoins pump at the same time. That's a lot healthier. That's showing a lot more interest in the altcoin space. That's showing a lot more excitement and correlated bullishness between the two assets. Hey, if Bitcoin's moving, such and such coin is also going to move. So I gotta take exposure on the alts that I'm looking at. Phase 3, which is actual altcoin season, that's when it doesn't matter what you choose, you are going to be a genius. It doesn't matter what altcoin you are exposed to, it is going to outperform Bitcoin consistently. Is alts lead, not by much. It feels like they're kind of pumping at the same time, but the outperformance is so much greater than what you see in the other two stages. That's your euphoria altcoin season. That's the big exciting part of the market that really sucks in like 90% of the next cohort of individuals. The next cohort of new money coming into the space is going to come on that environment. Now, as a reminder, because you guys are OGs now, you need to know how to trade these cycles. And part of understanding how to trade these cycles is to manage your expectations, specifically with time. Is if we are about to go into altcoin season here, look at how long altcoin season is. Here's an altcoin season right here. Here's an altcoin season right here. And let's just pretend that this is the beginning of the altcoin season right here. It's a matter of weeks. Altcoin season is so short. It's incredible. You can do 30x in a matter of weeks, but please do not get fundamentaled. Please do not fall into the traps and the narratives and the bullshit. Altcoin season, any altcoin season, will be a matter of weeks, 3 months tops. That's it. You make your money, you get the fuck out. You're done. You do not hold an altcoin through the bear market. Okay. Repeat after me. I will not hold an altcoin through a bear market. So just as a friendly reminder, if you want the bull market to continue, I would actually prefer if we had a few more months of Bitcoin leading and the alts having either a parity or sympathy pump alongside Bitcoin before we transition into that 2, 3, 4 month, very short window of time where alts are really seriously outperforming Bitcoin. I think that this market, because of the fact that the volumes have been so low and because retail just simply is not here, I think that there's a much higher probability than I thought earlier in the year for this to extend into 2026 and we get an extended cycle. I was saying that, September, October, November would kind of be the end of the market cycle, and we will observe the market and see how things are doing around that time. But I think that given the lack of retail attention in the market for so many months, it leads me to believe that there is an increased probability that we see an extended rally into Q1, possibly even Q2 of next year. So we could get a 6 to 8, maybe even 10 month extension on this bull market. Now, we got to take it one step at a time, and you'll be here for every moment in that assessment. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn bell notifications on so you can stay up to date, or better yet, get those notifications sent to your phone via the Discord so that you never miss one, because YouTube can be funny sometimes. You'll subscribe and then it'll be like, well, you didn't like the last 3 videos, so maybe you don't like them. If you want to make sure that you're up to date on the content, get into the Discord. All right, 16% CAGR since 2021 top. Buying all-time high breaks has worked historically. Oh, okay, 16% CAGR buying all-time high tops. Nice, like it. Good stat. Thank you, Drew. What are your thoughts on analysts like Benjamin Cohen, who are all about macro? He says, we have a major pullback in August and September. Nobody has any idea what Bitcoin is going to do. My method of analysis is the trend is your friend. And it's really that simple. Like this whole, oh, we sell in May and go away. We do this during this month. We have this. No, no. If anything, September, I believe, is the last month where Jerome Powell is the Fed chair. So, and it's rumored that the next Federal Reserve chairman is going to be a bull-tard crypto guy that is Trump's pick, that's just going to lower interest rates and just flood the money, flood the system full of money. I just don't. I haven't watched his TA, so I don't know what his reasonings would be for September, August to be a major pullback. But, a major pullback from where? From 150? Who cares? Who cares? We'll still be way up. Like, who cares if we get a major pullback from 150 or 160? Like, Cool. There's always major pullbacks. We have several 30% pullbacks through these massive bull runs. Need I remind you of the 2017 run? Let's go over here where we had at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major 30+% pullbacks. So like, okay, cool. We'll have a macro pullback. Yeah, it's just on the way up to higher levels. Like, I don't care. It's going to be nothing but up only until we get that euphoria. The most important metric, which is hard to teach, so it's unfortunate, but the most important metric for you to pay attention to is euphoria, market sentiment. And the only way for you to learn market sentiment is for you to be a market participant, analyze your own emotions and observe the emotions of other people around you for several years. It's a lot of people say it takes about 10 years for you to be able to analyze sentiment. Sentiment is so important. And I can tell you, based off of where we are from a sentiment and volume point of view, currently, we have several months of upside ahead of us. That's my humble opinion, my not so humble opinion. TA on dog, the rune. Do we give a shit about that? Do we give a shit about ordinals at all? All right. Let's take a look at dog, but let's do Solana first. Let's do some bigger ones that more people care about first. Solana. And then we'll take a look at dog. Solana, I mean, it's holding its own. This is the Bitcoin pair, as a reminder. It's holding its own. It's not going up. It's not going down. Now, when Bitcoin's pumping and the altcoin is not falling on the Bitcoin pair, that's a good thing. That means that there's a lot of demand coming into Solana. If we take a look at Solana USD, you'll be able to see that demand. Yeah, it's a good day for Solana. We have the purple candle here as well. Purple candle with how much of a pullback? 15% pullback. That's what you want to see after a purple candle. You often get that kind of 15% pullback. The purple candle was the 15% pullback. So we are kind of primed for a big move. It's looking good. It's looking good. But again, it's just because it's looking good. When I say it's looking good right now, it's looking good for the ability for altcoins to repair the trend and show the market that we are truly in a trending environment for alts, a favorable trading condition for alts, at which once that confirmation comes in, I will be really bullish and I will be allocating it to alts. So yes, it's looking good for me to maybe take a position in alts in like 2 months. Can you really call it a breakout if it's not even that close to an all-time high on Bitcoin Euro? And yeah, nobody prices things in euros other than Europeans. The US dollar is the global reserve currency. It is the reserve currency for all trade. I don't care if you think the euro is better. The world uses dollars for global trade and remittances. When the dollar gets printed, every trade partner, which is the whole world, has to reprice their assets. So all asset prices fall back to the US dollar. Don't care if the euro is different. QNT. All right. Well, I haven't heard that one in a while, so we're going to have to. We will definitely do that one after dog for sure. All right. Some other larger ones before we move on. XRP. I hate this coin, but it's looking good. I know we have a lot of people who like XRP, so this is a good setup. It's a good setup. Now, I'm not personally bullish on that until we can break out of the range. We're nowhere near breaking out of the range just yet, so I'm not bullish just yet. But, it'll be a wild ride all the way up there, even from here. It'll be a 50% rally just to get to the point at which I become bullish on XRP from a price perspective. So, yeah, something to look forward to, I suppose. Cardano, Yeah, if you squint really hard, you can see a good day in Cardano. But yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done for Cardano, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Let's take a look at some of the ones that you guys actually requested. So, dog tether. Keep missing out on profits as I do not take them. I am scared they will rip without me, so I round trip. What can I do? That's a really good question. So first of all, it tells me that you're not buying fear. So the easiest thing that you can do is buy fear, which is easier said than done. Okay. Easier said than done. But those big red days where we're hitting support, that would be the best time for you to buy. I highly suggest that you get the alphanumerics indicator because it can give you a little bit of bias. It can show you these good buy signals. Now, they're not right all the time, especially if we're talking alts. Let's actually just go over to Bitcoin because Bitcoin's much better for explaining this. But you can see these green diamonds here. Look at that. Like, these were extreme fear days, and we had a green diamond, we bought, we wrote it up. We had a green diamond, we bought, we wrote it up. So, those are kind of the best to buy. Now, let's pretend you missed it, which is totally understandable. A lot of people do. We missed the buying opportunity, and now you feel as though you're FOMO buying into a resistance. Now, there's two ways to go about it. One way is the way that I highly recommend. Just buy spot. Don't fucking touch futures at all. Do not touch futures. If you missed it, just ride spot. A little bit of gains is better than risking liquidation of your account or risking large losses on a natural and healthy pullback. Now, the other way to do it is if you are going to use futures and you have a certain setup that you find to be quite that you have a certain formula that you follow. Like, okay, when I make an entry, I usually go for a stop loss that's about 10% of the margined position, and I try to achieve a 3-to-1, and I keep my stop loss at 1%, or I keep my stop loss at 2%. Whatever the formula is that is causing you to fail, the formula, you need to cut your position size in half and double your stop loss. So if you are the type of person to, put a $10,000 position on at 1%, what you're going to do is put a $5,000 position on at 2%. That's going to give you more room to breathe, and it's going to give you the exact same downside risk. So the formula is the same, the risk is the same, except you've given yourself way more breathing room, and you'd be surprised how often giving that trade the extra room will allow things to play out and move in the anticipated direction of what you're trying to achieve. So give that a shot. Let me know if that works. Ask yourself what happens to Cardano if Hoskinson dies. I don't know. More of the same. More dead coin. TRX structure slept on relative to alts, both log and BTC pair. We're going to have to take a look at that, Bob. Absolutely. Try taking some profits, 10 to 20% at a predefined price points. Plan your trades. Better to stick to it. Yep. Wholeheartedly agree with that. Well communicated. All right, let's go back to dog here. Let's take a look at dog on the daily. This structure is not too bad. You got that macro double bottom. 68 people watching the live stream. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out blackbox.pro, BLKBöX.pro right here. It's been spammed multiple times in the chat, and join the free trading community. So this, we're waiting for a breakout. Now, like I said, it's just not the time for altcoins. And if you really want to talk about a category of altcoin where it is not the time. I'm not talking about nailing bottoms here. I'm talking about safe injections of capital at strategic points in the market where you know that you don't have downside. That's how I trade alts. I have no interest in nailing the bottom in an alt. You may, I don't. So you're asking the wrong person if you're asking me where's the bottom for dog. I don't know. I just know that when I take a position, the market is going to be just flowing in the right direction, and it doesn't even matter where I buy. It will appreciate in value. And as soon as Bitcoin starts to show signs of not cooperating and going into a bear market, then you're out. You're fully out. But here's what we're looking at. We got that double bottom formation. We also have a little bit of a cup and handle at this support / resistance area right here. Now, keep in mind, this is an ordinal project. This is a rune, and these things, like, they have no volume, like absolutely abysmal volume. So you do have to kind of take TA with a grain of salt. There's only so much reliability that technical analysis can give you. And the biggest factor for creating consistency to your technical analysis is volume. If the asset doesn't have high volume, you need to give less weight and less clarity to your technical analysis. On an asset like Bitcoin, when there's demand in the market, the TA works like so well. It's usually textbook price action is what you're seeing, and things just flow and everything is just so easy when it comes to trading when Bitcoin is in high volume environments. Altcoins, you got to wait for that volume to come in so that you can bring legitimacy or it can bring confidence to the setups that you're seeing. So from a technical point of view, what we're looking at here is you do have that kind of cup and handle formation. So, if you really wanted to be an eager beaver with dog, you'd be buying a position up here. But chances are, if we're talking about dog, you're talking about a bag that you hold. That's probably what's going on. So as far as your bag, it's looking good. It's in recovery mode. We have a bullish formation. We have a bullish setup where there's nothing that would say, hey, sell this position. There's nothing that would say that, we're topping here. It's time to exit your position. This is the beginning of the recovery of a bag of dog. And I think that it can continue up to higher levels, particularly if this cup and handle breaks out. So if you get that move, then we're in uptrend territory. And if you get, that uptrend could easily and quite quickly, because when these things move, they move rather fast. That could bring us in a position here, a posture where the double bottom breaks out. So you have, again, that double bottom formation. And if we break above that and break out, blue sky breakout, it's silly town. You have no idea where it's going to go, except it's going to go high and it's going to go hard. So, that's my TA on dog. Let's take a look at the other one that people were talking about. QNT. Marco Crypto wants to take a look at QNT. Oh, we must have been looking at this one during the bear market. We put a bear market trading range on this one all the way back here to the seller's climax. That trading range looked to hold quite nicely as far as the Wyckoff method is concerned. Let's go to the weekly. This one's a macro. Let's get a macro time frame up here. And we've taken out the SAR. That's a positive sign. So we got a bullish cross here on the weekly. And price is on top of the 7 weekly moving average. This is looking good. Now, again, I just got to state that I'm not interested in rotating too early. For me, and if you have a bag and you're looking for recovery, hey, we're in recovery mode. But for me, nothing really gets exciting until we can break out of this trading range. As soon as we break out of that trading range, and I didn't mean to do that dip there, but you got it. That's when it's fireworks. That's when it's explosion. That's when it's big time. That's when it's, attempting to take out prior all-time highs and beyond. So it's looking good here at a clean even $100 here, 112. if this is a bag for you, it's looking good, man. It's looking good. The next thing that you want to see to convince yourself that this is a healthy bag is we need to break out of this trading range. So it's got to get above 162. Once QNT gets above 162 on some high time frame closes, a weekly candle close above 162 will be a signal to the market. We're in the banana zone. It's silly time. It's time to go up to higher levels. All right. Tron. Now, this is one that I'm personally quite bullish on. Tron, for those who don't know, why am I bullish on Tron? Why am I bullish on this dinosaur coin from a scam artist that really just copied the Ethereum white paper and all the negative shit with Tron? The reason I am bullish on Tron is I am bullish on Tether. I think the US government is going to make some massive moves with Tether and put Tether in as many blockchains and propagate Tether in as many places as it can possibly go. And the most amount of Tether that exists today exists on the Tron blockchain. It exists on TRX. So from a fundamentals play, which I think stablecoins are going to be one of the most important catalysts for altcoin fundamentals, with that alone, with just Tether alone, I think Tron has one of the better fundamental setups for a price appreciation and asset valuation. Now, technical setup. Let's talk about the technical setup. How are we looking? Not great. We need to get above 312 sats per Tron. Why don't we take a look at the US dollar pair? Because a lot of you people just want to look at the US dollar pair. This is a much different chart. It's looking very, very bullish. This is why it's so deceptive to be pricing things in dollars. Listen, from the beginning of this year, dollars lost 10%. From the beginning of this year, Bitcoin, if you learn nothing from me, please learn this. From the beginning of this year, Bitcoin is up 27% from the beginning of this year. Okay? The dollar, from the beginning of this year, is down 11%. The dollar always goes down. Bitcoin always goes up. So which measuring stick do you want to use? Which ruler do you want to use when measuring performance? The ruler that shrinks or the ruler that gets longer? That's the way you have to think about it. I know that we think in this world of US dollars and the portfolio value is pegged to that unit of account of US dollars. But if you're, at the end of the day, you're trying to make the most amount of money possible, correct? True or true? You're trying to make the most amount of money possible. So don't measure with the dollar stick. Measure with the Bitcoin stick, because if you are taking a position in an altcoin, it needs to, at a base level, at ground zero, at nothing else, no profits whatsoever, it needs to at least meet the criteria of Bitcoin, because what you're measuring is an outperformance of Bitcoin. It's easy to outperform the dollar. It's easy. It's stupid. The S&P 500 is just outperforming the dollar. It's barely keeping up with inflation, but it's so easy to outperform the dollar. What's harder and what should be your focus is outperforming Bitcoin. So yes, we can look at this Tron USD chart, but it's nowhere near as valuable to me as the BTC chart. So I'm going to focus on the BTC chart because that's what is really going to be kind of the catalyst for excitement for me. And what I'm looking for is a break out of this range. Now, this is super messy. Let's kind of clean that up a little bit. What we need to see is a break above 300, above 320 sats with a clean weekly candle close anywhere above 350 sats. So when Tron is worth 350 sats on a weekly candle close, this thing is going to take off. And you do not need to reference the dollar pair. If it's doing better than Bitcoin and Bitcoin is mooning, you know that you're winning. You know that you are making gains on the entire cryptocurrency market. Now, the fundamental setup is great. The technical setup is great. We just need to see that little move. How much more of a gain do we need? We need to see a gain. We need to see a gain of 30%. Same sort of thing that we talked about on XRP. We need to see that 50% gain. So when Tron makes 30% more Bitcoin, that's when you're going to start to see the acceleration. Like, nobody wants to buy an altcoin and have it sit around and do nothing. Buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin's doing well. Then when this altcoin has outperformed Bitcoin by another 30%, it will accelerate. And when it accelerates, you don't need to sit around. You don't need to wait. It's going to continue to outperform Bitcoin day after day, week after week, month after month. Mark Hahn, oh crap, the DXY is at support. Does that mean a possible dump in stocks? It does. It does mean a possible dump, but we're seeing a lot of follow through in the stocks. And there's the possibility that this falls out of the range. For those who don't know, this is the parallel channel, this ascending trend line channel of the dollar that we have been in since the great financial crisis in 2008. And we're sitting on historical support, very, very strong support. It doesn't mean that the S&P and the NASDAQ are going to crash. It doesn't mean that Bitcoin's going to crash. It just means that if we rally off of this level, there's an uphill battle for the S&P. There's an uphill battle for the NASDAQ. There's an uphill battle for Bitcoin. It doesn't mean that we can't continue to climb, because if the demand exceeds the contraction of the supply, which is effectively what's happening if the US dollar is gaining strength, if the demand is greater than that supply, we will still see price appreciation. However, if we have increasing demand and this is breaking to the downside, breaking out of this historical channel, you're going to see one of the biggest bull markets you've ever seen. No joke. If you see this kind of structure here in the dollar, you're really going to have to wrap your head around the fact that Bitcoin's going to $1 million this cycle. It sounds fucking crazy. And as it stands right now, there's nothing about that is true. But watch this chart. If we break below this chart, and if we get this retest on the underside of this channel, and we do not reclaim this channel and move down, you're going to have to warm up to the possibility that Bitcoin is headed on a trajectory that can get to 700, 800, 900, $1 million per coin. Wrap your head around that crazy fucking statement, because losing this support is crazy. Okay. And if crazy technical indicators enter the market, you need to entertain crazy price predictions for assets. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Where were we? So that's Tron. What else did we want to take a look at? What do I think about Beam? You're going to have to define what you mean by that. What do I think about the technicals? We can take a look at the technicals. If you could possibly look at Portal, it's a gaming token. We can take a look at CRV as well. And Pengu, lots of requests today. My word. We are getting a little late in the show. I am going to do another show later today with Matt, kind of a daily high format. So we will be back probably in a few hours. So if I don't get to everything, you can certainly ask my opinion later on. But let's just quickly try and rattle some of these off. So let's take a look at Beam. Reclaiming the 7. That's the first step towards repair. Ultimately, this is a really bad chart. Ultimately, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I would not get excited about this chart until you can break above this downward sloping line of resistance. So until it gets above this line, nothing to report. Nothing to report. Portal. Gaming's dead, brother. Gaming is dead. Yeah, it's really not looking good for the gaming sector. It's got a lot of work to do. It's got a lot of work to do. This is below the 7, getting rejected from the 7. There's, you know, I'm not saying that this trend can't change. I'm just saying that every technical thing that I could possibly look at as it stands right now is negative. So until you can start seeing something positive, step 1 being getting on top of this weekly 7. If we're getting rejected from the weekly 7, we can only assume lower levels. Now, it can pop tomorrow, and tomorrow I would say something different. But as it stands today, everything that you're looking at is negative. Everything that you're looking at is saying that, you know, you should not have exposure to this. Now, if you're holding the bag and you've been holding it for a while, there's literally no point at selling here. We do have a weekly green diamond. That's a buy signal for the investor, but a lot of people probably, you know, held the whole way down to the weekly diamond. If you're taking a brand new position, you know the fundamentals, and you are quite confident that there will be demand for gaming tokens in the future, this is technically a buy signal, but the thing to consider is these will show up on any chart, including dead projects. Okay, so you're going to have to do your own fundamental analysis on that one to determine if it's worth buying, but there is a technical, you know, investment signal here. CRV. It's looking good. CRV is a very clean chart. Very clean Wyckoff accumulation here on CRV. We need to see, I think what's going to happen is you're going to see a lot of repair happen on Ethereum. Then you'll start to see repair happen on Aave and Uniswap. Once you see those tokens starting to go, you'll see the greater Ethereum ecosystem begin to wake up. And CRV looks quite poised to be a recipient of that. Pengu. Pengu sounds like a fucking scam coin. I mean, they're all scam coins, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Looking at here on the weekly chart, you know, you got your investment signal down here. We're well above that, well and truly above that right now. An uptrend on the week. We have a high, we have a low, we have a higher high. We can only assume that the next move will be a higher low. So Pengu, whatever this garbage is, it seems to be in a healthy trend. Let's actually take a look at the fundamentals. I mean, the fundamentals. Let's take a look at this coin right here, Pengu. It's obviously a meme coin. Oh, Pudgy Penguins. Pudgy Penguins. No. It's the token for Pudgy Penguins, kind of like Ape for Bored Ape Yacht Club. Anyways, you know, Pudgy Penguins is a really well-known Ethereum NFT project. So again, it goes into that same vein with Ethereum. So if Ethereum starts to really perform well, you see the entire Ethereum ecosystem perform well. Technically speaking, this isn't an uptrend. Technically speaking, you are above the 7, you are above the 30. There's some positive things that we could point to here. So it's looking good. It's looking not too bad at all. So yeah, Pengu. It's useless, it's worthless, but you know, it's appreciating in value. Hyperliquid is the coin of this cycle. Let's take a look at Hype. Yeah, Hyperliquid's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Yep. Good demand on Hyperliquid. Definitely an outperformer across the market overall. Purple candle. Did it get a 15% retrace? Yep. You got a 20% retrace after the purple candle. It's on top of the 7. It's on top of the 30. The Lucid SAR is flipped to the bull side. not much more to say. This is looking good. Oh, you've even got this ascending triangle formation. Ascending triangle formation, looking for a breakout here. Is it a triangle? Is it a wedge? Let's just take a look at it this way. Yeah, it's kind of a wedge. It'll probably break down actually, but that will be a buy the dip. That will be a buy the dip. So this will probably, I mean, this could go to much higher levels. Here's the thing. So this is technically a bearish setup, right? Now, hear me out, because it's all about observing what's going on in the market. If you have a bullish breakout of a technically bearish signal, you have a massive move coming. Massive melt your face move coming. Okay? I'll give you the two scenarios, the bullish and the bearish. Now, we could trade here, bounce around in here, and then get that technical breakdown, right? That technical breakdown is going to be a good buying opportunity, because we're speculating that we're heading into a favorable altcoin environment. So buying that dip would be a smart move. Now, for those who observe this for the first time and don't already have a position, another thing that it could do, another way that this could play out, is we have that bearish formation and it breaks out to the upside. Now, these are rare. These are super rare. But if this happens, if Hyperliquid gets something like this and you don't have a position, not financial advice, you buy, because this is going to rip. It's going to rip if this happens. So there's two scenarios, both of which I think you should be a buyer. It's just, are you buying on that fearful dip, or are you buying on that unexpected bullish break of a bearish formation? So put these lines on your chart, watch them, but there's nothing actionable right now. If you have a bag, great, it's looking good. You know, your bag's healthy, it's trending in the right direction. There's a lot of positives that you can look at for your bag, but there's nothing actionable as it stands right now as a trader. Cosmos seems to have totally died, much like many other shitcoins. There's 10 million shitcoins now, so yeah, you know, there's a lot of dead garbage out there. Yeah, this is really, really low, and this is on the tether pair, so I can only imagine taking a look at this on the Bitcoin pair. It's probably horrendous. Yeah, that's rough. That's a rough one. That's got a lot of work to do to repair that trend. A lot. So no, that's a no buy zone. Now, if you're a real value hunter and you think that something could happen, I mean, like, it can't go that much lower, but yeah, you're trading on your own risk there. Trade to your own risk. This could totally shoot up, but you know, there's nothing from a technical point of view that I could point to that would allow me to either buy it or tell you to buy it. If this pumps tomorrow, it's a fluke. Flukes can make money. Flukes can make money, but it's just, it'll be a scam pump more than likely. All right. Pro Investor Australia. Thanks, JT. You're welcome. You are very welcome. All right, let's wrap it up. Let's see how things are doing here on Bitcoin before we get out of here. If you guys want more, hit the subscribe button, hit bell notifications. I'm going to be back with Matt in a few hours at the daily close. So at today's daily close, the daily candle currently has 5 hours left. So 5 hours. Sorry. No, Matt can't make it at the daily close. It will be 1 hour past the daily close. So in 6 hours, Matt and I will be back on the show. We will be live, and we will be ready to take your requests. The Daily High, for those who don't know, it's a very Bitcoin focused show. We're gonna kind of get Matt's opinion on a few shit coins, even though he's not a shitcoin trader. But you know, don't hate it, don't date it, just trade it. So we will be able to take your questions and take a look at your projects there. But yeah, we're gonna be at a higher price by that show. This is getting ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not done. This impulse isn't done. It's probably not done till at least 120. So with that, I want to bid you adieu. Thank you all for joining in to the live stream. If you guys haven't already done so, please go to blackbox.pro, BLKBöX.pro, sign up, join the trading community. It's free to join. We do take a small commission, but it comes at no extra cost to you if you partner with any of our partnered exchanges. Each one of these exchanges is offering up to $50,000 in sign-up bonuses, so do go check out BitGet, Bybit, or if you are not wanting to fill out any KYC, go check out Blowfin. And we'll see you guys in the group. There's a free side to the group, 100% free, no strings attached, but the signals do require verification that you are an affiliate of one of our partners. Again, this comes at no cost to you, so the group is 100% free, but there are certain locked off sections that do require that you at least show us that you intend to trade with one of our partners if you take the trade setups that you will be receiving for free. All of our entries, exits, take profits, all that fun stuff is waiting for you. So until next time, please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.